What's up, guys? This is the lyrics breakdown and analysis of We All Fall Down by Kevin Sherwood. The song was in Great Leap Forward, which is the Zombies map in Revolution, the first map pack of Black Ops 2. So to start off, the first line is Xenosiliciopis, and the literal translation of that is Oriental rat flea, but what it really is, it's a parasite of rodents, and when this flea bites infected rats and the rodents bite humans, the humans become infected, and this is what happened during the bubonic plague, and it was likely the cause of the Black Plague that wiped out over 25 million people in 14th century Europe. So the next line is MDCLXV, and that is Roman numerals for the year 1665, and that was the Great Plague of London, which was the last major pandemic of the bubonic plague, and it killed more than 100,000 people. So maybe they're teasing at we'll finally get our Paris map. That's probably going to be the next map pack, possibly. We don't know. It's a good hint in this lyric line. The next line is, we used the helicase to bind the CXV. And what helicasing is, it's an enzyme that lives inside of living organisms that has the ability to unbind DNA strands. And I'm going to get into that after this line, which is bind the CXV. And what CXV is 5 more than 110, meaning 115, which is our element, and without this element we wouldn't have the zombie storyline and everything. So what this section is saying is possibly Richtofen and Maxis used the process of helicasing to bind the element 115 virus, or this element that fell in Shinonuma with the Meteor, and bind it inside of the DNA of rats, and then the rats bit the humans, and the humans were infected, and the humans became these zombies, and possibly that's how the zombie outbreak happened inside of London, if they would make a new London map. And another interesting thing I found is when I googled CXV, CXV was also a NASA space capsule designed to take people to and from a low Earth orbit, and over 400 re-entries have taken place in over 20 years. And these are just two representations of what the space capsules would look like. This was on some, I don't know if it was a NASA website or something, but this is where I found the article. The next is non-responsive, and their ferritin is high. And what that could mean is the zombies were non-responsive when they were testing this, this process of helicasing and inserting the virus in the rats and infecting the humans. And ferritin is all it is when your body has too much iron, it sends it into your, I think it's kidney or liver, one of the two, as ferritin. So in vivo, meaning vivo is Latin for life, and so that could mean technically they're non-responsive, but they're still alive. So in real life, they're still alive. Controls are feeling fine despite the awful sounds. Again, that could just mean either they're mind controlling the zombies, Richtofen and Maxis, at least in Doris, when they were testing it all out in Verrucht, they were mind controlling them, just like they mind controlled Dempsey, Takio, and Nikolai. So despite all the sounds of the zombies, they're controlling them. So brought the incidence of Tallowy awful down, or Talloway, and Talloway is just the fat obtained from parts of cattle, sheep, or horses to make candles, soap, or lubricant. I don't know the connection to zombies, but that's what Talloway is. And awful is just decomposing animal flesh. So maybe they let animals decompose and they somehow did experiments with the fat and made stuff, I don't know. But that's that line. Next is we all fall down. We fall down, we all fall down, we fall down. Clark just repeats this. So, I mean, it's the main verse of the song. The next one is the Martyrs' brethren were not to be set free. This line's kind of interesting because a martyr, we know it's a person that's killed because of religious beliefs. That's specifically a martyr, but it can also be a person who seeks sympathy or attention by feigning or exaggerating pain to torture. So it's someone that impacts torture on other people, if you want to say, example, Richtofen. And brethren is just fellow brothers, so maybe this line is saying the person who inflicts pain and torture on other people, meaning Richtofen, his brothers were not to be set free. And maybe that means his brothers as in, it could mean the zombies, it could mean Takio, Dempsey, and Nikolai, it could mean our new Fab 4 in Transit, I'm sorry, in Green Run. It's open to a lot of interpretations. The next one is In Vitro, Planet Earth, In Vivo, You and Me. And in vitro means taking place outside of a living organism, like a test tube. So maybe Earth is Richtofen's test tube. He's doing all these tests with the zombie outbreak and all that stuff. So, and in vivo, you and me, meaning is in vivo again is in life. So in someone living like you and me. The next line is he had them watch me and lock everything around. He told me, you seem awful down. And this could just mean Richtofen was ridiculed and made fun of and just tortured by Maxis when he was a kid during Doris. And maybe possibly Maxis had people just watch him and guard him the whole time to make sure he's not doing something bad, because he was kind of bad, and then he revolted at the end of Doris. It was actually in one of the radios, and he sent Samantha into the MPD, which is the pyramid device, and he sent Maxis into somewhere, and Maxis ended up being inside of Griffin Station. So it would end in flashes, and we'll choke on ashes, and we'll all fall down, and that could just mean, again, after the rockets impacted Earth, and the whole Earth is destroyed, just like we see in Green Run and Great Leap Forward. The end will all end in flashes and just bad thunderstorm, bad environment, and from the this is the effect of the impacts of the meteor. I'm sorry, the impacts of the rocket from Moon. Long lives the Phantom. I hear them sing, scream out his anthem. And what this could mean is a phantom is sort of like a ghost or a figment of the imagination. So maybe Richtofen is really, literally, he's insane. He's mentally unstable. He's mentally psychotic. And I hear him sing and scream out his anthem. Maybe there's some guy in ether where Richtofen is. That's like the ultimate big ether god in this alternate reality. That could mean it. Maybe he's just crazy and he's just hearing things in his head, just like Samantha actually did when she was in ether, which is for another video for all the other songs. I feel the shadows crying, running, coming for me, too dark to see. That could just mean, again, he's crazy and he's been locked up in this corner, maybe in a jail cell, possibly in Doris. He's probably been with the zombies and he's just forever mind tortured. It will end in ashes of their lies, and maybe he's referring to Dr. Maxis lying, and he's going to kill Dr. Maxis. That could possibly mean that. We can still see flashes in our eyes. Again, maybe he was an experiment subject for Maxis, just like Dempsey, Takio, and Nikolai were of Richtofen, and he's just saying he will eternally see flashes. Or maybe it's just referencing the people on Earth. They will eternally see flashes because of the bad weather. But until it crashes and the atom smashes, all our minds will just fade away. And this could just reference the rockets that impacted from Moon, impacted Earth, and the atom smashes. I'm sure Maxis had put some sort of element on top of the rockets, element 115, so that when it impacts, everyone is infected all around Earth, because the way the wind cycle is, it just shifts in the wind all around Earth, so everywhere is infected. And will fall, it ends with this, and he kind of just exaggerates this for 4 or 5 seconds. So he's, again, Richtofen is exaggerating that he's in control and he wants everyone to just be tortured, and he hates everything and everyone around him. So this is coming up to the end. I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. And I had fun making it, and I plan on making all the other songs in order. Alright, thanks guys.